Hello.
Hello, darkness. Hello,
Come,
child. I don't remember. Hello, darkness. Hello.
sun.
Well, how does the song go?
Hello, darkness. Hello, sun.
Is
that
it Sun?
What's that song even called?
Hello, darkness. It is Pink Floyd.
You're butchering everything. This
I
week.
know. What's wrong with my brain? Should I get back in the cold plunge?
Hello, darkness.
My old friend?
My old friend.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Simon and Garfunkel.
All right, we're
With
back.
you again. Yeah, that was hard.
That was hard.
Words are hard sometimes.
It's all good. It's
Yeah.
early for you.
I've been up. I've showered twice. I've done a cold plunge. I've made my coffee. I've already taken care of one client. I'm on a roll.
Oh, yeah?
But yes.
Taking care of clients.
Yes, it is. It is early for me.
All right, I want to start today off by saying I love you.
Oh, I love you so much.
Great. All right, and after
What did I
that,
do wrong?
No, nothing.
Is this the sandwich compliment?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I want to talk about an exceptional portfolio of a company. Just want to start off by talking about this cool company. They have worked with the likes of James Franco, Seth Rogen, Jonas Brothers, Lou Ferrigno, Selena Gomez, Bruce Buffer, Hafthor Bjornsson, aka The Mountain, Nick Swartzen, musicians like Alex Clare, Don Diablo, Aaron Hagar, Dirt Nasty, Cisco Adler, a number of the top bodybuilders in the world. Company clients such as ESPN, Gold's Gym, NHRA, Coldwell Banker, produced Hulu's first independent half-hour comedy, have a film on Netflix and Amazon Prime, secured a distribution deal for a documentary, built video platforms for a Fortune 500 seafood distributor, and a leading specialty food distributor.
This is a company that I would love to work for.
Yeah. These are just some accolades and like winning moments for this company. And this is our company, but we don't talk about like big things we do and victories.
Why don't we?
I don't know. You don't realize the things you've done until you look back.
Yeah.
And you only look back to see how far you've come.
Yeah.
I feel like we've done a lot of cool stuff.
We've done a lot of cool stuff, and it's just getting started.
Yeah. I leave out stuff that I forget about as I'm talking because it's like working with the Outdoor Channel, with Castle Creek Productions, and making like fly fishing videos and stuff. So
How
there's
does
just so
one
many other
start?
things.
How does one get to that point?
You start from the ground bottom.
The ground bottom.
You start at the bottom.
But how does somebody for businesses who are intimidated, like how would a production company even approach a business like this?
You just got to start somewhere. You got to start with doing free work. Start testing your skills. If you're a video company yourself, if you're a freelancer, it starts with just doing work so you could build a portfolio so you could bring to those companies to say, look what I can do for you.
Yeah. And also, I think part of that has to do with who do you know and who do you know knows the people that you want to work with. And you just have to start communicating. People are just people. And I think we look at businesses in a certain way and we're like, oh, they're so up there. You know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's up there.
Who knows something about it?
Yeah. So get in with those people. Grant Cardone always says, get in the right rooms. Get in the right rooms. Get amongst the right people.
Yeah.
So, but I don't want to bulldoze over yours. I know you've got a nice little itinerary we should go over today.
No, I just want to start about talk about the importance of high quality videos for companies. So there's a lot of video companies out there like ours. Maybe they are cutting corners. Maybe they're missing a piece. And I just wanted us to cover kind of our cheat code and the way we structure things. Maybe it can help people figure out how to fill those gaps and have the best quality they can for their customers going forward.
Okay.
So I want to talk about just what in your mind is the importance of high quality video for companies. Why do you think they need them? Because I was thinking, it gives them a professional look. You can give the education or engagement to people out there with your brand. What other things do you think make it important to have high quality video?
I think when a customer sees a high quality video, you want to be a part of that culture as a consumer. You're like, wow, I want to go there. You also see that the business is putting money back into their brand. It gives them credibility. It builds trust. But I also would say that just because you have a high quality video doesn't mean it's still going to convert. And so you can't just have a good high quality video. It has to do something. It has to mean something. It has to either bring in an experience where you can picture yourself as the people in the video, or it has to have some kind of thing that drives the consumer watching the video to want to go to that business or buy that product.
So that will lead me into the next point.
Okay.
Not just high quality. That's great. Let's talk about our background as professional storytellers and why I think storytelling is very important. We pride ourselves on our storytelling ability because we came from LA in the scripted side, slowly did non-scripted and documentary stuff, but there's always a story to tell and you always pull it out of people. What is the importance of storytelling to you?
I think by storytelling, it allows people to relate to you. When you hear of a business, you can think of something like, I've got to think of an example. I'll come back to
it
that.
just gives that human connection, like it brings an emotional tie to the company, whether, like you said at the beginning, people, they're just people. So people follow people. And if you can give a background story on why they started their company and there's a story behind it, people might have a little more connection and want to be a part of it.
Yeah, and people like to share the
product,
stories.
buy
Right.
now.
Right. Yeah, people like to share the stories. When you're having a conversation with someone, you're like, "Oh, I like your shirt. Oh, well, this shirt actually came from wherever it came from, made from women who help give back to." There, people like a story.
That was great. That was a good background story.
Okay, well, I have to
You could think
about
back.
something
You could just
more.
think of those like epic bourbon commercials you might see online, or Budweiser. Why are they always so great? The story of the puppy or the Clydesdale.
Yeah, people love animals.
That's a story, and it pulls you in. You're like, wow,
It's
that's
an
so cool.
emotional response.
It's not
Everybody's
just-
like cute and badass at the same time.
Not just a bunch of drunk people with Budweisers at the bar.
Yeah.
That's realistic for the product.
Yeah.
But the storytelling behind it is like, we came an American-made beer from this.
I love stories. Even when we were little kids, we love to be told stories. It's something that's just rooted in our DNA. And so as you get older, you kind of lose the storytelling aspect. But as a business, you've got to continue to tell your story.
Yeah. Wouldn't you say it's also, I feel like storytelling makes a lot more memorability. I remembered
That's what I'm
Budweiser
saying. Yeah. Yeah.
only because it was a story. If I think of commercials or any videos I've seen online, the first ones I think of are all stories,
Right.
like badass fishing videos. And like there's a complete timeline to it.
So when you say a story, what do you mean? Like beginning, middle, end? Do you mean a climax and then a resolution? How
No,
can somebody follow a storytelling script?
When I think
for their
storytelling, I think of pulling an emotion out,
Mm-hmm.
not just showing a highlight of a product. I think a story is like, how did you get started? Maybe you could go that route about us, make it cinematic, have a storyline of it came from a farm, came from somewhere. I think that's what I mean by storytelling.
Mm-hmm. Well, like at
behind
Rusty.
the product.
Right. Rusty's a good example. He's a landscape that we just worked with in Louisiana, and his story was profound, and it stuck with me that he was an electrician. He got a screw in his eye when he was working on a piece of equipment, and he was out of the office for 3 months, 6 months. And then he was like, well, what am I going to do? I can't just sit around. So he started mowing yards. And then he was like, wow, this is what I want to do. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And he completely switched his business and brand. And that's a story where you're like, wow, this is a very intelligent human being who not only has a good eye, thankfully, the screw didn't affect his eye. So stories stick with people, I think. And people like to work with businesses who have good stories. And everybody has a good story. You just have to learn how to tell it.
Yeah. And I think it helps the call to action at the end too, because you can have a call to action that kind of aligns with your brand goals. So if the whole thing is about giving a movement or giving back, at the end of it, it's like, do you want to give back?
Mm-hmm.
So I think,
And why do you want to give back? What is the importance of, how do you get someone to take their payment to your business?
that's why I think storytelling helps it all. It ties you in, it gives you memorability, and there's a good call to action on why they
agree.
need to help the cause.
Yeah.
Or I just want to buy a yacht, so please buy my product.
Yeah, why buy your yacht? Because you're the top notch. But what makes you the top notch? Are you using high quality? Why are you using high quality products? What is that about your brand? Are you using specific colors? Are you using things that are environmentally friendly? Like the things that make your brand and business stand out lead back to why you're doing that, and then tell your story.
Yep. All right. Consistency and reliability. And I think as a company, we are those things. But when we are creating content for the company, you want their look to be consistent and reliable. And why do you think that should be the case?
I think it keeps the message consistent. I think as a consumer, you're like, okay, you know exactly what you're going to get every single time.
Yeah. Recognition,
Mm-hmm.
trust. So they know what they're getting, as you said, every time. The expectation is set, and they will always recognize that brand now whenever they see it.
Yep.
When some companies might be a different post every other one, and maybe it's just, I don't know, there's just no consistency. So half the time they don't know what they're looking at.
When you go down a Coca-Cola aisle and you see the red can, you know Coca-Cola. You just know, I'm sorry, when you go down a soda aisle and you see the red can, you know Coca-Cola. Or if you're going down the beer aisle and you see a blue can, you know it's Bud Light. Like your eyes are going to go to what you know. It starts conditioning. We're puppies. We're Pavlov. We're conditioned to see certain things. And so if you start switching up your brand too much or too dramatic, people aren't going to recognize the brand when they want to go buy it.
And that just triggered a different thought. That ties into social media. How many times have you or seen someone try to switch up their look and the algorithm gets thrown off and now you don't have the same followers or engagement?
All the time. Are you talking about branding?
Yeah. Like if you treat your social media as a brand and when
Yeah.
you change up what you're posting or what type of audience you're going towards, tell me that your engagement doesn't change.
Mine changed dramatically. I went from bodybuilding, and showing my booty and muscles and weight training, to spirituality, to then go into just like goofiness. So, and then every time you change, your audience the algorithm doesn't know how to adjust your audience. So, I built 24,000 followers around bodybuilding, and then I shifted and I was like, where is everybody? Well, it's not my Instagram's fault. It's my fault.
Yeah.
I shifted my entire brand and expected everybody to come with it. And that just isn't what happens.
And that's a perfect comparison, I think, because even online presence gets confused. Imagine how the everyday user is going to get confused when they see, and I've seen it, where if someone makes a post I haven't seen in a while, and I'm like, whose page is this?
Right. You don't recognize it.
And then you go and you're like, this is so-and-so? What?
It's confusing. It
Yeah.
confuses people. So don't confuse people. Keep your stuff consistent.
And I think one major thing that we do better than anyone, and I'll give you all the props and your flowers for, is on-camera coaching. How many clients have we had that are just a little more uncomfortable, or they're just camera shy, can't say their name on camera? What do you do to open up that
I think
vulnerability?
Well, first, again, we keep going back to trust, but I feel like trust is super important. Your customers, our clients, have to trust us that we are going to make them look their best. And so continuing to remind them, hey, even if you mess up, don't worry. If you stutter on a word, don't worry. If we have to do this 100 times, don't worry. We're going to cut it all out and make it look amazing. Or then I will go back to you. You're a brilliant editor and you can turn poop into magic. I don't know how you do it.
Poop into magic.
Poop into magic. So I think first off, that having trust, like letting our production customers know that we have their back. Number two, hearing what they're saying, like really listening when people are talking, because you can go home and have all this gibberish content where you're like, I don't know how to make this into anything. So while we're working with them and they're saying stuff like, this plant is green. Okay, how did you get this plant green? What's the benefit of this plant in your house? Like just really kind of going deeper, diving deeper into what the customer is trying to say and how that can translate on camera. And then I would also say another factor is listening to their tones. If I'm bored while they're talking, the video is going to be boring. So keeping it upbeat, keeping it fun, making them smile, just little things, your position, how you hold your body, how you're holding your face, how you're using your tone, just little things will really help translate, I think.
Yeah. We usually have them say their name at the end of the interview.
Yeah.
Because it's so hard for people they get struggle bus city on that thing. So we're half the time we just have them kind of go into just random stuff. Like, what is this company? Where are we? What's happening today?
Yeah.
And it always starts stiff, but we try to loosen them up, get a little comfortability in there.
Also keeping them planted. People want to move around. And if they're sitting in a chair, they're swiveling their chair. Don't ever do an interview in a swivel chair because you're going to be doing this the whole time. And
I'm
this,
David Baca,
this
and
does
I
not,
am at a table.
Yeah, and this does not make me want to buy your brand or business or your product because I don't have confidence in you from like watching you. I'm like, whoa, why are you so nervous? So just helping people feel confident in their skin during interviews and
Keeping it authentic too.
keeping it authentic. Yeah. And I think that, and I'm sure this is one of your questions, but we spend a lot of time in pre-production and in discovery with the client.
That's the next one, discovery process with clients. And I want you to talk about exploring the depth of like their engagement, the company? What is the process there, and how does that help going forward?
Well, I ask hard questions in discovery. I ask them a lot of questions until I feel like I'm comfortable. If I don't understand the company, then I'm not going to be able to ask the right questions in the interview process. So I take about an hour, 2 hours sometimes with clients, and I just really saturate myself and I ask them a ton of questions. What do you do? What are your goals? How does this benefit people? What's your end game? What's the future? What does your product do? Like, I go through all these things. And then when I feel the customer's like, I don't know, or if they get stumped, I ask them to guess. If you had to guess, what would it be? Because a lot of times people don't know. Hey, what kind of videos do you want? Well, I don't really know. I kind of was hoping you would help. Great. Well, let's figure out your product. So when I'm making reels as a starting point for customers, I always ask them, okay, what sets you apart from your competitors? Let's make a video on that. Let's have maybe 2 ad space reels. So in the future, if you want to create an ad, this is what this is. Let's show your product, or let's show your space, or let's show your business, whatever that is. So people feel like they get that experience. And then I would also want something like, getting to know the business owner. Why? Why should we go to you?
Which goes to that storytelling part.
Goes to storytelling. So we've worked with people where like, I have no idea what they do. We'll spend hours with them and we're still like, I don't know. And that was in the beginning, and we'd show up and we're like, cool, let's just see what we can get. Well, now if I don't know what's going on, I dig deeper.
Yeah.
I make sure I really know before we show up.
We want to be prepped. We want to know the ins and out of the company, as you said, because we need expectations. We need to know all, the ins and out of the company, but also what problems does your product or service solve, which is usually your first question. Like obviously they have a service or a product, and then you always ask them like either what are your most asked questions or what are you solving for people?
Like we have a water company that we're working with right now, and his product is, he uses a completely biodegradable water bottle, which is huge.
With zero plastic.
That right there sets him apart from everybody. So we need to do a whole video on this water bottle because that is huge. It doesn't have to be a long video, but maybe like 15-second reel. Why? Look at this water bottle. This is the new future, and eliminate plastics, and maybe kind of throw in a few jabs as to why the plastic water bottle is not beneficial to humans, And then you go into his water system. Well, why does it work? What does he offer? Why is this helping? Why should you as a consumer buy this water versus drinking out of your tap versus going and get a Dasani bottle? Just there's so many avenues and paths you can take with brands. You just have to spend a little time in the pre-production part.
I think people leave all that out.
I do too.
Another big pre-production part, which you do during the discovery, is that you discover or you figure out the shot list and the key participants. So for example, if it's a guy who runs, a small company, but there's 4 employees, who are the key people that you want in the video? We need people to be interviewed. We're going to do B-roll of them working. Let's just say you run a home building, construction company. We need to schedule out a day or set of hours where we're going to go film the house now because we need B-roll to overlay over the interviews. Otherwise, it's just talking heads and boring.
It's so boring.
So I'm just, all that is just identifying the people who fit the narrative of the company, because if it's telling a story, you need to showcase that story.
I agree. And if you have somebody who's public facing in the company, like this is the face of the person who's going to see all of your customers, it would be very beneficial to have that person in the interview. If you're going to have some CEO who never shows his face within the public, he might not be your key player in the video, because your customers, when you show up, they're like, oh, I saw your video. They feel like they know you. People are building these fake relationships behind their screens with the people that they see. And so they want to feel like they know you. And that goes back to your authenticity. Be authentic. So when you show up, they're not like, wow, you're nothing like you were on camera. Who are you? Or you don't look anything like you looked on camera. So trying to make people look as organic as they can. So when they arrive, they're like, oh, I feel like I know you. And you've already built this friendship with somebody and they have no idea who you are. But that helps, kind of keep that consistent.
Michael Strickland, for example.
Yeah. Michael Strickland's great. He's a client of ours in Louisiana too. And man, he is a ball of energy and he shows up on camera. But remember when we first worked with him, and I'm going to say this to not have businesses be discouraged. Every single client that we have worked with, maybe there's a few a random few, but everybody on camera is nervous. It is normal. You're not going to be great at putting yourself on camera in the beginning. You have to practice and don't judge yourself. Laugh about it. When you mess up, laugh about it because you're learning. You know, you're not going to be great in the beginning, but when you work with us, you are a freaking professional within the first couple months of working with us. The first couple shoots, I should say.
Let's say first couple shoots.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, Jim Chapman at 740 Meats and More, the videos turned out amazing after the first shoot. And the whole time we're interviewing, he's like, man, I sound stupid. This is terrible. And we're laughing and he's just like stiff. And then I feel like we built the trust going forward. Once we finish the product, we give it back to them and they go, what? How'd you make me sound like that? I'm like, that was you. I just cut out your ums and filled it with B-roll on top. And you realize that you know the information, you know what you're saying. Just loosen up next time. And then next time, sure enough, he's like, hey, everyone, Jim Chapman here. And it's like easy. So easy.
Because he trusts you. And I think when people edit some content and you give it back to a customer, if it's not edited to make them look their best, they're not going to work with you. They're going to start nitpicking themselves and be like, oh, I said, and I was looking over here and I had my finger in my nose. Don't put those shots in the final edit.
Yeah, and don't let them put their finger in their nose.
Like you said, fill it with some B-roll. If you have a shot and the voice is good and you can manipulate it a little bit in post-production,
make them look good.
Make them look good because they're going to want to continue to work with you because you're making them look their best. And you're making them look their best to their family and their friends and their followers. And they're going to want to share it and post it. And guess what? All of that sharing and social media content going out there, it's going back to your brand. You're getting the recognition as the production company. So that's how you also get your next customers.
Yeah.
But if you're putting out garbage, good luck. You know, be proud of your work.
And also, an example with Jim again, though, is when I made that little dinner party reel. And I sent it to him, and it was him talking. It was like, are you looking for pork chop for your brunch? Da, 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 like this whole thing. And he's like, wow, AI works magic, huh? And I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, didn't you just have AI use my voice? I was like, no, that you said that. He's like, I said that? I don't remember sounding that good. I'm like, dude, you sound that good.
Maybe you could do a whole nother podcast to help people with editing. You could like do a tutorial YouTube video.
Yeah, that'll be a YouTube video. It won't have to be a potty pod.
Well, it could be a potty too. You could just be showing people.
Potty.
But I think that would be really helpful because people don't know how to take a bunch of random words said throughout an interview and piece it together and make it into a story. I think that would be gold.
I mean, speaking of random words, I just did it with Rusty. He's like, I said come instead of came.
Or spoke instead of speak.
No, it was come instead of came. But he was like, because I come out here and I fixed the lawn. He's like, but it was past, so I came out here. And I was like, let me figure it out. And I found a word where he said came randomly, and I replaced it. And I was able to edit it and manipulate the audio levels. And he's like, sounds like I said it.
Yeah. You have to show people how to do that. And if you guys are interested, please leave us a comment below and beg David to make an editing video for you because he's brilliant. And this is where I think you really shine.
Thanks. You're welcome. And speaking of shining, old companies, brand new companies, I think we do a great job of setting them up on the platforms and then being able to expand videos across all of them. Talk a little bit about the importance of that.
We found that we were giving content over to businesses and sometimes they didn't know what to do with it or they weren't using it to its highest potential. So we found, hey, here's an opportunity. Let us help you. So we would take the content. First, we would create all their social their pages. We would set up the bios on everything, make it all consistent across all platforms. And then I would show them, this is the way that I would recommend you post the videos. Put it here, put it here, put it here, put it here. Use this, make it go back to your bio, connect it back to your, and use that one video across all platforms. One, because sometimes it can be overwhelming. How am I going to make a TikTok video and an Instagram video and a LinkedIn video? Well, you just make one video and you put it on all of them. And you make it a consistent post, consistent communication, consistent call to action, and just let it rip. And then do that every day. And if you can't do it every day, do it at least 4 days a week. Be consistent with the social pages. Does that answer your question? Okay.
And we'll also just creating all those accounts, just talking about how Jim, Rusty,
Rob Geiger.
Yeah, just getting them set up on platforms too, I feel like is smart. Add that to your business where you don't have to run it unless you want to be a social media manager. But offer that in your business as a video creator. Be like, hey, let's launch your YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and add all that in, and then just hand everything over to them.
Yeah.
Give them their own emails, give them their own login, or create one. Like if I'm, Greenlight organization, do greenlight@gmail.com and just send it over and give them all the info. Just leave it at that.
Well, you do a really nice job of what David does, which is I think is super beneficial to businesses, is you'll take all their content once it's done and approved, and we'll send it over in a Dropbox folder because the clients approve everything, and then you schedule it out on YouTube for them, so they don't even have to think about it, and you put it up on YouTube Shorts. So that's a nice feature that you can schedule through that platform.
The fact that YouTube is schedulable.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, and that could be a full service that you offer in a package. We tie it into our package, but if we're doing it solo, it's like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
And you just go in, you write all the posts, you do all the tags, you do everything, and then you just schedule. So it's automated every month. The customer doesn't have to think about it. And it's a service you can add to packages. You can do the same thing with your social media. Hey, I'll create an entire calendar for you, and then you can hand the calendar over, because there's nothing worse than a business is dealing with the problem and they're like, oh, I got to post on social media, and they have so much in their head and they can't think about what it is they want to post that day. But if they don't have to think about it because you've created a schedule, they think, okay, it's Monday. This is my Monday post. Here's the picture. Here's the caption. Copy, paste, post, done. Like any way that you can make a business's life easier and smoother, do it. Charge them for it. And if they don't have the time to post for it, charge them for that too. Here's the calendar. Once it's approved, I'll handle the posting for you. It's like it's an addition that you can add to scale your business. If you've got 10 customers and they all do it for $1,000, you've just pocketed $10,000. Yeah. For what? A couple hours of your day? Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
When we go to film people and we make them, the authentic, they're organic, the way they're speaking, they know a lot about their company and whatever industry they're in. Why is it important for them to be portrayed as an educator or an industry leader when it comes to their brand or whatever service they provide?
Trust. You build trust. And credibility. Those are like the two. Like if my toilet gets clogged, I don't want to have to go to my phone and be like, oh, who do I go to? I already want to have somebody in mind. Somebody I'm like, oh, they're the expert. I've seen their videos on YouTube. I've been watching them on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're the first person I go to because they're the forefront. They're at the forefront of the digital realm. So they're going to get my attention. Whoever gets your attention is going to get your business.
True. It's like, for example, Grant Cardone. If you're like multifamily, you want to figure out multifamily like ins and outs, you're probably going to click on a Grant Cardone video.
Yeah. And he has saturated the market with his branding. So of course you're going to go to him and be like, oh, wow, he's the expert. He's got 10,000 videos and he has millions of followers and he's a billionaire. Like, who am I going to go to? I'm going to go to that guy because that guy is doing it.
You go to somebody who's doing what you want. If they don't have what you want, don't go to them. If you want $4 billion in assets, sure, you should probably go to that person.
Yeah. Is that your thing? Go to somebody who,
That's what I think. It's kind of like people give you advice on something that they are nowhere near you on. I'm like, why am I listening to you?
Exactly. Why are you taking advice from people who aren't where you want to be? Also, like this sign right here that we bought, we did some digging on Etsy, and who stood out? The people that had good reviews. There you go. I can trust this company. I know they're going to get it done at a certain time. They're going to deliver. I'm going to like it. They have a guarantee. All those things that make me feel like, cool, I'll take out my credit card. If I see pictures, I'm like, great. I can see other people's work, not just because, when you post stuff, businesses are going to put their best quality in the forefront. But as you start digging, you get to see more stuff. And then it gives credibility.
I agree. Yeah. Talk about some case studies and success and why I think it's important, because that kind of goes in the portfolio standpoint. You could show someone a video, cool, high quality, great video. I want that.
How does it translate? But
how does it translate? Or if we are doing social media or posting, how important is it for like a case study to show another company, be like, do you want your company to improve like this?
It's huge, because you can make a big claim all day long, but if you can't back it up, you're just a company with words. So for us, we, when customers are like, oh, I don't know if that, again, in discovery, what are their goals? Are they trying to save time? Are they trying to save money? Are they trying to, what is it that they're trying to do as a business, and how can you help them? So for instance, if they're trying to save time, I'm going to say, well, cool, then let me just do it for you. And when I do it for you, these are the results you can expect. I take an average of our customers. Most of our customers have either scaled in their finances, they make more money because of the social media, they get more credibility within their community, their business is getting recognized. There's all kinds of goals that you can do. If you want to grow your followers, great. That's a little trickier these days because you have to put out quality content that's organic. You can't be doing salesy stuff as much.
Unless you completely have a giant budget and you just dump it in ads to get followers.
Yeah. And even that, though, people get...
That's how Grant Cardone got big.
Yeah, but Grant's not
He did
like...
it all through ads.
I know he did. He did he's freaking brilliant. But now if you look at his ads and stuff, they're organic. It's conversational as opposed to, do you want to go to the donut hole? Let's go to the donut hole and get some coffee and donuts. No, you're going to be like...
Hey, easy. Don't shit on the donut hole.
I didn't. What do you mean?
Make it more happy so they'll repost us. Go ahead. Do it
But
again.
I'm saying...
Look at that camera and give me an ad for donut hole.
I'm saying that's what you don't want to do.
No, I'm saying right now.
Why don't you do it?
Show me an organic ad where you go, this is the best cup of coffee. Huh, donut hole. Maybe I'll go there later. Something like that.
There you go.
Let's see it.
That's more organic.
Show us your Disney acting skills and
Shut up.
action.
No, I'm not gonna.
Come on.
But that's an example where you
I want an example.
can be like, the donut hole, delicious. And now you're like,
Now you're just being goofy. I need everyone to know.
that is the best cup of coffee.
Where'd you get it?
The donut hole.
Wow.
They also have donuts and breakfast all day long. Have you tried their homemade pies?
I have.
What did you think?
So good.
So good.
Always get a pie.
Oh me, oh my.
Order today.
Okay, that was so ridiculous. But you know what I'm saying? As opposed to come to the donut hole today and get a cup of coffee. Yeah, see?
Wow. The old transatlantic accent is back.
Yeah, it came back.
Hey, see, you want some coffee? Well, come to Destin. Florida. Cool. That sounds awesome.
What does? My donut hole commercial or just, are you done?
Your whole donut. No, just talking about credibility in terms of showing success stories of other companies.
Yeah.
Yeah, show that you can transform brands through media. And I think that Strickland & Porter has a look now. I think S&P, we were able to put a lot into that industry to where others start looking at it as trendsetters from some of our media because a lot of people start duplicating it. So that's flattery, even though it's copying, but it's cool. And bodybuilding, same thing.
Yeah, when we first started out doing My Type Productions in the bodybuilding realm, there wasn't really a standard for videos until you came around and started filming and editing.
Thank you.
You
They were
really-
very good people.
Great
But
people.
Gold's Gym and stuff, I definitely kind of locked it in. And then the influencers started within a couple years after that.
Yeah, you completely transformed the industry. So I think what also sets our business apart is that we don't follow trends, we set them. And I think that's really important when you're working with a business or a brand because you don't want to do what other people are doing. You want to think about how can I make this different? Because you're seeing the same thing on your social media. You're scrolling, especially TikTok. Oh my gosh, once they lock you in, you see the exact same thing forever. So how can you stand out? How can you be different? And that's where you come in. I think you do that brilliantly. So bodybuilding, yeah, you completely created a standard for what the videos are supposed to be. And that was very evident because of the views. You started seeing the traction go up and the data doesn't lie. So check your data. Look at your insights, look at your views, look at your comments, listen to what the people are saying when they're responding to your videos. And right then and there, it was million. Like you had so many videos that just went freaking viral when you first started out because nobody had seen it before. And then everyone started copying it, which in the beginning we became territorial because we're like, well, this is us. This is ours. We did this. And then later, as you start going, you realize it's flattery.
Yeah.
It's not.
When somebody literally copies your logo multiple times and it's all good.
And
People from other countries, who cares?
Same with S&P, the scalp micropigmentation. We had people that were copying our shots shot by shot by shot. And we were like, that's awesome. That is awesome because nothing had been done like that before in the industry. Mm-hmm. And I think same with the seafood companies that we've worked with, like being the leader, I think showing that you're the leader, you're the one who's getting it going first gives you so much credibility in the industry, no matter what industry you're in. So it's super important.
Yeah.
There was a whole point to that, and I can't remember. I really just went down a rabbit hole.
Setting trends.
Yeah, setting trends. Yeah, I can't remember.
It's all good. If
Yeah.
it comes back, it comes back.
Okay.
So overall, that's kind of what we do. Deliverables, we give Vimeo private links for, revisions, and then we go back and then send everything through Dropbox. But for you video creators out there, if you're looking to get business, or if you have business and you want to lock in your system, we'll run through it one more time. Just a quick thing where it starts with discovery, and Steph will hop on the phone, learn everything, the ins and outs, find the key players, set a schedule so we can make a shot list. After that, what would you say?
I would say we go into fine tooth combing. So what are you going to wear? Bring a couple outfits. If we're coming to shoot for one day, I don't want you in the same shirt for all your videos, because you're going to be in the same shirt. Maybe have the same color. Maybe have a logoed shirt that you're going to wear, like your business logo. But don't show up in a Bud Light t-shirt expecting to, I don't know why I keep going to Bud Light today. But, make sure that you're set up for success on all of that. Make sure your customers, if it's a female, make sure their hair and makeup ready. Make sure they're showing their best version. If there are people, if you're going to go to somebody's office, make sure all the employees know they're going to be on camera that day. Have your paperwork, whoever's on camera, get a contract, like an agreement. You want to make sure that later they don't come back and say, I didn't give you permission to use my face on that. Well, you signed it right here.
Yeah.
So just go on gonna have AI write you up one, go on Google, find one. And then maybe a location agreement if you're shooting somewhere, just cover your bases.
Mm-hmm.
So I would say make sure your clients are ready, make sure you're protected.
Yeah. Those are the main things. And then when you shoot, same thing, get them comfortable, keep them smiley and upright. Don't let them running around. Help with that on video coaching. And then once you film it, do a quick turnaround as quick as you can. Some people are overwhelmed. 2 weeks is like the max it should be before they start getting deliverables. If you want to get it out a day or two later, even better. But then you're setting a precedent going forward that they're going to expect something a day later every time.
Yeah.
So, just keep that open communication when they want revisions, but put a cap on it, like 3 revisions per video or something. And then also, what else?
Yeah, we had to do that because we worked with a client once who came back a couple of years later and was like, can you edit this for me? And our contract, we didn't have anything. So now it states you have 3 edits before the final deliverable within the first 90 days or something. Mm-hmm. And there's just so much. We could go over our contract with people. Maybe that would be helpful so they can add some stuff that we've made mistakes on in the past.
Yeah. I think a major thing that's helped us too in the last few years is build packages.
Yeah, our packages.
Have a rate ready, because some people are like, how much is a video? Like, well, what's your budget? Like, it's hard. You don't want to screw someone over, and you also don't want to talk yourself out of a job, but you also still need to make money. So, have packages ready for real companies that want real work, to where we're going to give you 4 full-size YouTube videos, 8 reels, 10 to 20 images, whatever. Build in a package so that when you go there, as Steph said earlier, we're going to do 2 about us reels. We're going to do, 3 answering your most frequently asked questions for the reels. And then you can also make reels out of whatever you get out of one of the YouTube videos. So chop them up, make teasers. So make your work easier on you at the back end, but have expectations set out, sign a contract, lock it in, build a system, build packages, make it easier for yourself.
And be patient. Be patient with the customer, because this is new to them. We've been doing this for, oh my God, 13 years, 14 years.
13 professional.
13 professional years. So to us, it's simple. We're like, oh, it's just this and that, because we've been doing it for so long. But for your customers who have never done this before, this is new to them. And so be patient. Don't get frustrated with them. Be confident, be their cheerleader, keep them going, let them know this is the best thing they've ever invested in. Like, really continue to encourage your customer that they've made the best decision moving forward for their brand. Hype them up. Let them be excited about working with you. That's huge.
And don't let them be a customer or a number. Let them build a relationship with them, because from the phone call discovery, being with them for a couple of days, if you're there that long, like we usually are, we go to dinner every night. We hang out in between the shoots, and we, eat and laugh. And then after that, we build a relationship, because all of this business is built on relationships, because you want them to be a repeat customer. You want them to mention you to others to make more money, to help your brand, to help their brand, maybe give a kickback if they mention you to another company to land a job. Just always keep the door open as a real relationship, because I think that goes much farther than just, all right, next. Don't you want them to call you again in 2 months? Like, hey, come back out. Let's make another full package of videos.
And how often does that happen? For
All the
us?
time.
All the time.
The best customers are repeat customers,
Yeah.
and they're like family, because half the time we're getting invited to birthdays and shrimp boils or something. You know, it's what it's all about.
And something I tell our customers too is don't expect a bunch of sales in the beginning. If it happens, amazing. But you're also showcasing your business for the first time on social media, or this new content is coming out. If you don't make the sales, listen to the community. What are people saying? Hey, I saw your video when you're walking around your town. Hey, David, I saw that video you made on the process. It was really cool. Guess what? Your video is getting seen.
Jim
You're
Chapman,
building
remember
up.
the first video? We posted a video for 740 Meats and More, and Jim was like, everywhere I go, people are telling me that they've seen the YouTube video.
Yeah, but he hadn't made any sales in the first week, because it takes 10 to 13 touches before somebody actually hits that button to proceed with the sale.
Yeah.
So start listening. Don't get discouraged. I think what that happens a lot is businesses will be like, oh, the video didn't work. It did work.
Video is called brand awareness, not sales video.
Right.
So which one are you going for?
If that's, and yeah, getting very clear in the beginning and discovery. What do you want? Do you want brand awareness? Are you wanting to increase sales? Are you wanting to save time? So that will really help you come back full circle if you ever have a customer like, hey, I'm not getting any sales. Well, in the beginning, we said brand awareness. What are people saying? Are you hearing a lot from the community? Oh, I've had so many people tell me about this video. Great, it's working. It's working.
And then now, when they do need that thing, brand awareness, they'll remember that brand. They're aware of it, and they'll go to you.
Yeah. It's huge, and it works. I think just being patient with the customer and also being patient with the content and giving it a chance to catch up, because it does. It's not going to not work. It's, if you're doing the right stuff.
So if any of this sounds interesting to you, if you're a company or another video editor company, reach out to us. We're more than happy to help you guys figure this out. Also, companies, if you don't have the time, or if you need new videos, contact us. Steph will jump in. She does consulting. She'll help you launch your social media sites and get everything out there. So
our goal this year is to say yes.
Say
so
yes.
If you need help, please lean on us.
The answer
It's
is
what we
yes.
want. Yeah, we're going to be here for you because we've been there as you.
That's right.
So we'll help you however we can. Shoot us a DM or comment below.
That's right.
I don't know if people do that on Spotify.
We got YouTube,
Yeah.
mytiemedia.com, MAITIE media.com.
Yeah.
Make sure you reach out to us. Let's get you to the forefront of the digital
Let's
platforms.
go, baby. It's 2024.
Yeah. What are we waiting on?
What are we waiting on?
Let's go.
Let's go.